Yes, I am in the car. If it's the wrong way round, because sometimes it's weird when I turn it on the side, I don't know, let me know. But I am not obviously going to just having that moment, just talking. So I figured, I'm sorry I won't be reading your comments, but I will when I get to my destination, because I have probably half an hour to wait because I'm having my car inspected. But I figured that I would talk to you. Good morning, everybody. And yeah, it's like 8:30 here, and I am now currently driving off what we call Lilydale the island. I'm getting off the island for a moment, mainly because I've got to go and have my car inspected, and we have to do these normal things, and we have a gate down here. Thanks very much, thanks for letting me out, escape the island. Just a quickie, if anyone does come to Lilydale, please please make sure that you keep to the speed limit. And I'm serious here. Around here, the police are like on you like crazy, and we've got a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Oh my god, my son has left me with no gas. I mean, seriously, that's okay. I'll get some. I've just looked down and I'm like, really? So we're going to have the gas light go on in a second. But please keep to the speed limit, only because down here the police are everywhere, and I've been here 3 years. I've had 8 speeding tickets. Even the English accent and the fluttering of the eyelashes and the cute little smile didn't work, so it's fine. You can't get out of them. I've tried. Oh my gosh, I wish you could actually see this. The lake is just beautiful. We're on Casadega Lake, which is this gorgeous lake, and the steam is rising off it. This is something that you could never ever get bored of seeing, and it's pretty incredible. It's like unbelievable. Anyway, hope you're all well. As I said, I can't read the comments because I'm driving, and so, you know, I kind of like my life and I kind of like speaking to you, so I'm not going to. But I'm finding, oh look, there's somebody standing out there on a boat. Oh, fishing. But yeah, I kind of like my life, and so therefore I'm not going to read your comments, but I will afterwards, so please put them in. I can see all the hearts going and the thumbs up, which is awesome. But like I said, I do my best thinking in the car, and something's really bothered me recently. You know, it's the way that people are. It's the egos, it's the hatred. Obviously we've had what has been going on in the world recently, in various different parts of the world. It's just horrible. I get in the car and my son now has adjusted everything, and it's really horrible. And you know, it's very prevalent, even where I live, even in the surrounding areas, even in the areas in which I live in. And you know, I just want to say this, and I'm talking directly, whether it's a spiritualist community, whether it's a spiritual community, because spiritualist and spiritualism is spiritualist and spiritual, very different things. All start with spirit. Okay, so spiritualism, spiritualist, spiritist, spiritual, all start with the word spirit. And if we look at the word spirit, spirit is really the true essence of who we are. And it's when our soul releases into the other realm, into the transition of what we call death, that is classed as spirit. So spirit is undefined. Spirit is just this energy, this life force, this being of pure intelligence. Not only pure intelligence, but a pure love. All right, so let's bring that down to the fact that we are pure love when we call ourselves spiritual, we call ourselves spiritualists, we call ourselves spiritists, we call ourselves spiritualism, whatever it is, spirituality. We start with the word spirit, and spirit is just love. Because when we take away this ego and there's this physical body that we are in, this physical vessel, this physical being, we let go of this physical reality. And the physical reality creates ego, it creates hatred, it creates all of this stuff. And it's our mind that continually goes over and over and over. And it drives me absolutely insane. Because we don't come from a place of love anymore. What we come from is a place of ego. And it's so ego driven. And this is what I've noticed over the last few days. And I'll tell you why. You know, there's what's going on in the world, there's all of this stuff that's happening, and quite frankly, you know, I don't really want to address each one individually, because it's everywhere. All right, it's everywhere. There are things that aren't on the news, there are things that are happening in places that we don't realize, and this is where we have to come from, this absolute place of love. But as we use the word spiritual, and many of you here are spiritual people, the word spirit is not something that we're practicing. And so I found myself on this little tyrant of a rant last night on my own in the car, because that's where I vent. And I found myself addressing people. I found myself addressing certain people because I feel like at the moment I've got a little bit of a target on my back, but that's okay. And I understand why. But reality is that we're spiritual, okay? So let's talk about this. Spiritual beings, and when we are spiritualists and we are spiritists and we are spiritual in nature, we have to understand the word surrender. We have to understand the word, I've got it tattooed on me. We have to understand the word surrender to the divine, and it's all in divine order, which basically means that we have no control. As humans, there is nothing we control. I'm controlling the car right now, and I'm controlling, obviously, the physicality, but when it comes to things and events that happen in our life, we do not have control. Because let's say it's two people in a relationship, you can only control your actions, you can't control their actions. And so that's the reason why we have so many manipulations and control elements. And so all of this control creates this fear, because we want to control the final outcome, but we fear the outcome, so we therefore want to control it. And it's this vicious circle. And in this vicious cycle of life, we get into the space of fear. And fear doesn't change anything. Fear keeps us rooted in this space and in this element of like panic. And so when we get into this element of panic, into this place of fear, we can't, quite frankly, we really can't operate. And when we come from a place of love and we're truly guided into this place of spiritualism, guess what happens? Spirit finds a way. I can't tell you how many people say to me, I'm spirit-led. I have spirit-led days, because I do. I have total spirit-led days. You know, spirit put me in front of this, spirit took me here. And you know what? That is absolutely beautiful. And why don't we live like that? Why don't we truly live like that? And I'll tell you the reason why is because of control. This is exactly what it is. It's control. So here I am, very raw. And I will tell you, I ran for the Lilydale board, the board of directors. And over the last 3 months or something. So it wasn't a secret. Everyone knew I was going to run. Let me find one more. My son has the lights. There we go. And you know, it was no secret, and I ran for the Lilydale board, and I'm glad I did. And so Monday was the election, and you know, it was a tough day. I can't tell you what happened, but it was a tough day. It really was a real tough day. And I just said, you know, there's lots of irons in the fire and spanners in the works and all of that stuff, as they call it. And what ended up happening is, building up to it, I was sick. I was very, very sick. I had a kidney infection and everything else. And so I didn't get out of bed. I didn't go and see people. People were like, come and see me, and I didn't, because I was sick. I had my own health to think about, and quite frankly, I'm not a political campaigner. I don't want to get involved with the, you know, the let's do this, let's campaign, blah blah blah. I don't want that. You know, I'll win on my own merit. I'll win on, do whatever it is, or I won't get through. You know, and these are important. So what ended up happening is I let Spirit take over, and I said, you know what? If Spirit has a plan for me, then they're taking over. And that's how I've always lived. Well, that's the reason why I'm here talking to you. I'm in America talking to you, or wherever I am. And so I ended up going, Spirit has a plan. And, you know, of course you hear rumours. All right, and I do want to talk about rumours in a second. You hear about rumours, and I'm like, oh, God, people, these rumours, it's like, why? Anyway, I am now on the board of Lilydale because I got voted in, and I got the 3-year term by 1 vote against the former president, and which has no reflection because he's actually still on the board as well, and he's now got a year term, and you know, it is his journey, and I've got my journey, and everyone else on the board has their journey. And at the meeting, I was put forward for president, which truly, honestly, I wasn't comfortable with, but you know, if people think I'm the best person for the job, I'll do it. But I wasn't comfortable with it because I've never done it. I've never sat on a board of Lilydale like this. I mean, I'm on the church board, but that's not the same thing. So anyway, I am now vice president, which I got to tell you, I'm happy about. And I wish Chris would stop calling me Madam Vice President because it drives me insane. But never mind. He wakes up, good morning, babe, Madam Vice President. I'm like, really, stop. Anyway, and even Charlie started calling it. It's funny, it really is. And anyway, so besides the point, and then there's all this fear. So of course I've stepped into this Madam Vice President role. I don't even start my term yet. It's not even starting yet. I don't start it for another few weeks, which is great. But the interesting thing is the fear that was associated, and what I realized was rumours. And rumours in this day and age, just checking on, sunglasses aren't making much difference. It's very foggy today. The rumours are awful. You know, I've heard so many things from so many different people, blah, 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 and it's come from fear. And I'll tell you the reason. It's come from absolute fear. People are, sorry, I've got an itchy nose. People are coming from this place of fear and not wanting change, and I understand that. I completely understand that. And in this place of change, it is fearful. It is fearful. I mean, no one likes change, but I do. I like change because it keeps things progressive. It keeps things moving. But all the rumours are really. They're rumours. There's nothing. And I remember listening to all of these rumours and going, really? I am probably one of the most open books. Anybody has a problem, come to me and I'll tell you reality. And this is the problem, is people make up their own stuff going on. And I'm sure it all happens. It doesn't just happen in a small community. It happens everywhere, because I mean, this is just people's life, and they have put assumptions into it. And this is what I talk about mediumship. You should never put assumptions in, you should forget the facts, which is evidential mediumship, which is what everybody practices. So why don't we continue to do it? Why don't we go and speak to the human who is still living, who can tell you the reality? So, you know, I hear all these rumors, and I'm like, if I'm not approachable, if you can't approach me, then what's wrong? And so anyway, you know, I am an open book. I have nothing to hide. I don't want to hide anything, because as far as I'm concerned, hiding it just shuts everything down. It's about being true. It's about being reality. And whenever you hear something, this is what I do, is whenever I hear a rumor, is I go directly to the source. So if, let's say, if someone told me something and they said, oh, so-and-so is saying this, I go directly to the so-and-so who's saying it, because I'm like, okay, listen, I need to find reality. Or if, like, I don't understand something, I go to the person that knows. I don't go to the person that may know but has lived here long and they know their version. I go directly to a source. So I'll go to the office, or I'll go to a certain person, or I'll go to this person, because reality is I could get things wrong, and I don't want to. And this is what I'm saying, is when we're in a space of rumors, we're in a space of gossip, or we're in a place of hatred. I'm not saying Lilydale's hatred, trust me, because it's really not. It's actually a very, very loving place. But when we go to a place, I'm talking generally in the world, but when we go have a place, all of this happen, we have to go direct to the source. And this is the reason why it's so important that we all have an opinion, and we all voice our thoughts, and we're all honest, because honesty is not around anymore. We're all jumping to assumption, we're all jumping to conclusions, we're all jumping to, you know, questions. And let's refer it back to the word spirit again. Alright, spirit is undefined. Spirit is truth. Spirit is love. Spirit is completeness. And so when we talk about spiritualism, spirituality, all of that, there goes back to the love. There we go back to the spirit. I'm ranting a little bit. But we lose that because of the ego. So therefore the rumors do start, the hatred starts, the fighting starts, and it becomes a mess. It becomes this absolute mess, and we go, why? What's the point? What's the point? And it just, you know, you just kind of just go, whatever. And you know what, it's funny, because my mum taught me two things. I used to hate this as a child. I used to absolutely hate being told, oh, please yourself, Lisa, because it used to make it felt very passive aggressive. And it probably was, and I was probably being a brat, and I was probably being horrible at the same time. And I'm sure my mum's listening and going, yeah. So hey Megan, and you know, I understand it, but my mum taught me a valuable lesson with that. It was like, please yourself, and it was about do what's right for you, not what's right for everyone else. You're the only person that can control your feelings. You can't deal with anybody else, so control your feelings. And the other thing is the other interesting one. She always said to me, take no notice. And I didn't understand what she was like. She's like, I take no notice, especially when I'm like, Mom, I don't like that person, that person's saying this, And she used to say sticks and stones, which is fine. Sticks and stones don't break my bones, which is fine, but names will never hurt me. So again, I live by that motto, but I live by the fact where she would say, take no notice. And so you can't take any notice of what other people's feelings are. You can appreciate them, but you can't take any notice of, you can't do anything about it, and you can't take no notice of any of the crap that goes on. Okay, there are things that we have to do. We have to absolutely make change in the world. Let's face it, we've all heard the news, we've all seen what's going on. We have to make change in the world. So let's look at it from that spiritual point of view. We talk spirituality. Spirituality is about, that's my alert coming up going, you've got a car inspection in 15 minutes. I know space. Come from that space of lack of, get rid of the conditioning, get rid of what we've been told to say, get rid of what we have been conditioned to believe, because we have been taught to believe so many things. We have been taught to believe that. I mean, we all probably saw the internet, the picture of that little baby opposite that police officer, you know, looking into that his guard, and it was a reflection of himself. And if you haven't, then that's something that I would honestly truly like hunt out. It was quite interesting. But this is the thing, and she was being conditioned to hate that person in front of her. Now reality is it's our society that have conditioned us to think in a certain way. We have to be responsible for unconditioning ourselves and changing our thought process and changing what we believe. Because if we came from this true heart space and we came from this true spirit, which is what we are, then you'll have something else. It's our ego, it's our mind, it's our world that we live in that has conditioned us to think in a certain way. So come from here. Come from here. When you... There's my fuel light. My kid, I tell you, my kid. That's okay. But when you come from this place of love, what do we want? We don't want all of this hatred. We don't want all of this backstabbing. We don't want all of this hurt, because all it does is hurt. And all it does is create vendettas, and all it does is create resentment. All it does is create hurt. All it does is create horrible negative feelings. This is where we need to truly come from this place of love. And when we have this place of love, we can grow as a society. We can grow. And yes, we're going to hit default. Oh my God, we are absolutely going to hit that default button, and something is going to trigger us to go back into that space that we were conditioned. But then it's that thought, that split second of realization that we go, oh, it shouldn't be like that. Let me just breathe. And let me just feel what I truly feel. And it's about feeling that space, feeling that heart space. And yes, you may know what is right, and you may know what is right because it's old ways of thinking, because it's been old ways of thinking. Who cares? Who cares? Things have to change. Old ways of thoughts have to change. Anyway, I'm ranting, and that's fine. But it's come from a place of truth, people. It's come from a place of spirit. It's come from a place of who we are, not about ego. It's this true heart space. Anyway, that was my morning rant. I feel better now. Alright, it's my morning rant. It wasn't really a rant, but it was passionate. I was very important about it. But thanks for all the hearts and the thumbs up and everything else. And you know, I'm very passionate about this. Anyway, everybody's like, are you coming back? Where are you going? Okay, so I'm going to Omega in 2 weeks. I'm in Lilydale next week for forensics. I am in Omega the week after. Well, actually, next week I'm in Omega. I start at the end of the week on Friday, so I'm in Omega, and then I come back. I go to Norway. Oh my God, Norway. September 12th, I think, or 13th. I can't remember off the top of my head. Then, so I'm in Norway. Then I am also come back and I do some Ohio dates with Cindy Kaiser. Then I am back again, and I go to Australia. So I go to Australia, and I'm back. I'm in Australia twice later on this year, in a couple of months. I'm doing Uluru, the symposium there, and I'm doing some other dates and a cruise and everything else with Animal Dreaming with Scott King, who I just love. So yeah, I'm all over the place, but check out my website, you'll find it all. I can't read all your comments, but I will read all your comments, I promise you, when I get to the mechanics office and mechanics and he inspects my car. But you know, I just really, it was on my mind what I was talking about, this whole spiritualism, who we are, what's going on in the world, what's going on in various different places. So I just wanted to kind of get out my little soapbox and rant a little bit. Not really a rant, but it's been bothering me about what's going on in the world, and when I see it, you know, I don't watch TV and I don't watch anything else, so I just know what I get on Facebook and the alerts and what's happening in the world, and it bothers me. It really does bother me big time. So, anyway, I gotta go, so I gotta find where I'm going, and I'm almost there, I think. All right, guys, listen, lots of love. Sleep well, Australia. Have a great day, America. Have a great rest of the day in Europe. Wherever you are in the world, just remember to be you. Come from that place of love. What would you want? It was love thy neighbor as thyself. Spiritualist, you know, as a spiritualist, you know, there I have principles that I believe in and I live my life by. We believe in God. We believe that God is all there is, and these are the Church of Living Spirits principles. But I still live these principles, and it's about love thy neighbor as thyself. So come on, people, let's share a bit of love. All right, mwah. See you soon. Oh my God, skunk stinks. All right, see you later. Bye.